Now, folks, I don't want any reaction from you, please, for the next 5 minutes. But I'm on a mission from heaven. Some of you dear people sit in front of a television set. And now the fornication mentioned here has nothing to do with sex. The fornication here and the food that is offered to idols has to do with the message that you eat. It's what you eat, the sound that you hear from these men, prosperity preachers, who will take any last dime from a widow. You hear this. The fornication caused them to fornicate means that you give yourself. You sit under their teaching. You sit under their message and you feed on this. And you become a part of this. It is a bonding. It's a yoking of the flesh. Flesh to flesh. Spiritual fornication. And some of you come to this church and you hear a pure word from God. And sometimes we don't know why you don't grow. Some of you have heard the message sitting here for 10 years and you haven't grown. And the reason is because you have been sitting, listening to somebody on television feed your soul all of this stuff, all of this fornicating stuff that comes from the very pits of the wicked one. How many of you have slipped away when these evangelists, you've heard the pastors with tears stand in this pulpit and beg and plead with you that you have discernment. And here's what Jesus is saying to this church with good people. They're not backslidden people. They're wonderful people that give you anything. They're loving people. They have faith. But they have this little attraction for the big show. They've got this attraction. There's something inside saying, oh, you've got to hear this man. And I see people come, they want to hand me tapes. And I'm thinking, if they're handing me tapes, how many are they passing around the church? Be careful, saints. To say it with love, be careful. Anybody brings you a book or a tape or anything from any evangelist, television or otherwise, bring in the pastor and get it checked out. What a dangerous thing. And you slip off to Madison Square Garden, or you slip off because there's some healing evangelist, there's somebody in town. Now, not all healing evangelists are under this indictment, not at all. But when a man stands and tells the whole United States in one of his meetings, I curse any man or preacher who stands against my ministry. I curse him. When a man stands before the people on television and says, Jesus Christ has told me that one day he's personally going to attend and be in one of my meetings. That's blasphemy. That is the doctrine of demons. And yet you sit there and you say, this sounds good, it looks good, it looks like people are being healed, and you are being fornicated with. You're into fornication, spiritual fornication, because you don't have the discernment, because you see the big show. And one recent evangelist that was here, I get a call from a pastor who worked with him. He said, Brother Dave, you should have been here this morning. God came down and we raised $2 million. He said, I don't want to talk about it. He said, well, he wants to talk to you. I said, I want to talk to him. And we are under an obligation before a holy God to warn you. And I say it with tears and brokenness. There's a lack of discernment all over the body of Jesus Christ. And you've been better taught than that. You've been better taught. Folks, they're in and out of town. We're here. And we stay with you through the tears and the brokenness. We stay with you. I've been here 16 years now. We don't have any plans of running from you. We're shepherds. Folks, hold it. He said to the pastor, you tolerate allowing your people to slip off to meetings of false prophets. evangelists who practice divination, making merchandise of my people. Every time you go to them, come on, tell me the truth. How much time did you listen to them say, raising money? How much have you ever heard about raising money in this church? What did you hear today about raising money? You didn't hear a word. We trust God for our money.